Famous Brands is the leading quick service restaurant group in South Africa, selling marketing services and manufactured products to its franchisees.
Right, so the origins of this business are the Steers franchise and franchise owners. It was a business founded by the Halamandaris family out of Emalahleni. They bought Wimpy from the AVI group about a decade or more ago. And since then, they've gone on a bit of a buying spree. So there you go, Bron, and you can read all the brands.
Debonairs, Mugg Bean, Fishaways and the Keg.
And then Tasha's and Vovatello and, Giramundo's and any number of additional brands. They basically hoovered up.
Market cap here, 10.9 billion rand, PE of 25 and a dividend yield of just under 3%.
Good.
It's a good solid story, Famous
Absolutely.
Brands.
Look, and we're talking about a company that has a 10 billion plus market cap. So that's not enormous, but it certainly is the largest player in a fairly distributed sector here.
We have been invested in Famous Brands, in and out of it,
Indeed,
in the duration of the hot stocks portfolio.
It's been a little bit quiet lately. You'll see the 5-year chart shows that it's climbed to above 100 Rand a share, and since then it's kind of gone a little bit off the boil.
Why?
Notwithstanding, well, there are two reasons, and we've talked about them on the show before. The first is that they're getting a little bit more competition than they'd have hoped for from Burger King, which has got an offering pretty similar to the Steer burger, flame grilled, etc., etc. The other reason, and probably more significant, is that there have been a fair amount of insider selling here, where the founder family, which had northwards of 50% of the shares, has progressively sold that down to around 35.
And the market always looks at that with a little concern, saying, why are the founders selling out of
Look, but to be fair to them, the founders really built this thing. Then they did a couple of deals, the capital base expanded. Then they hired Kevin Hedderwick, the CEO, who really professionalized the business. So it was kind of appropriate that they
maybe
begin
they're just
to
a little
sell
overexposed in their ultimate portfolio.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, their stake, if it's 40% of 10 billion, that's quite big money. And what they've been doing is they've been getting expressions of interest from global investors, big institutional asset managers. They go to them, they agree a price, and then these big chunks of stock go through the market. So that's put a bit of a cap on the thing.
Do you prefer Steers or Burger King?
Look, like I say, the offering's fairly similar. In my experience, Steers is priced a little bit more expensively, but the King Steer burger is pretty delicious. And the kids love it, and you get the chips and fries that is with it. So
you're giving me an economist's answer. Neither here nor there. You are...
Look, Wimpy is a bit more of a lower end type of brand, and it's associated more with, the road, highway, venues, and so on and so forth. They've done a lot of work in that regard. Remember also, Steers and Wimpy have been very, very good. In other words, Famous Brands been very good at penetrating the rural areas of South Africa by putting in a store in each and every single mall. As the malls have been improved, we've talked about that in those other shows about the property sector. All the secondary towns get these new malls, and Steers is there always, really shunting, making sure that they're front of queue in all of these places.
Hot or not on Famous Brands?
I'm hot on it. I think at some point we're going to see a slowing down of the sales by the insiders. And another thing we haven't really talked about is that they've got that Nigerian venture called Mr. Big, where they're going into the pie and other fast food industry.
165 million consumers in Nigeria. That cannot be a strategy to ignore.
Plus, building up all the supply business, because remember, that's what this is all about. You get the franchisees, but then you start selling them sauces and patties and rolls and cheese and chicken fillets and all the other things that go into these products.
Do we decide hot or not? Hot.
Hot for me.